call this episode Why We're Both Not Buying a Switch 2. Yeah.
It's true though.
No, it was funny as shit, and this could be part of the intro. It was funny as shit because there was people posting, "Why don't you have a Switch 2 yet?" So the collector forums, and I'm like, I just can't find one to pre-order. And the one guy was like, "Well, you probably have enough Switch 1 games," and I'm like, "You probably didn't know that I like publish games and collect like fucking everything." I was like, between my Steam Deck, my Legion Go, my Odin, and just having an analog pocket, I got more games than I need in my life. So yeah, I'm good, bro. I was like 100% good.
It's one of those things like the Switch 2 is not going anywhere. It's not like it's got a window of release. Like once it's out, it's out. You can get it.
Exactly.
You can get it the first week it comes out, or you can get it the first year after it's out. I mean, there's just so much other stuff to play. And I mean, like other than Donkey Kong, there's nothing that makes me go like, "Ooh, I need a Switch 2," you know? So
Yeah, like I see the post where it's like, "What's the first character you're gonna play in Mario Kart?" And I'm like, eh. I'm like, my. Ironically, is my daughter's been playing this Roblox game where there's a bunch of skins and the killers are like Jason, but then there's a Jason Sephiroth that brought Jason, and now she wants to play Smash Ultimate to play Sephiroth. So I'm like, oh, interesting. So like we're gonna go back into the Switch stuff we already have, and you're right.
and
Donkey Kong is it, man. Donkey Kong is it, and in reality, there will be plenty of Switches for everyone. I
mhm.
I haven't not had a Nintendo system since the N64, since before the N64 at launch,
Yeah.
but it's not gonna hurt my feelings. Like we're
Yeah.
busy. Like I mean,
Yeah.
we got, as you're gonna see from this episode, plenty to do.
Yes, that's right, folks. We just went right into it. This is another exciting episode of the Indie Credible podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Xander Scully, and joined with me, sipping his drink, is Jeffrey Wittenhagen. Oh, yeah.
Tee up, Jeffrey. Tee up perfectly.
I was
We probably should run into stuff because our episode is freaking packed. We've been got a lot going on.
this past week has been insane. If you guys remember in the last episode, or a couple episodes, because I was editing episode 31. I think that's where it all started, where I was like, oh, I want to get this new mini PC because I've been using this Ace Magician, which is a super small mini PC. Great for emulation. It does like Sega Saturn, GameCube, all that stuff with Batacera. So I've been enjoying that, but there's some Steam stuff I couldn't play just because this thing's only 4 gigs of RAM, like memory, like it's not really high end. So I got this Boss Game P3. This thing here was like $300. I got a little discount on it, so it was like a little bit over 200. But this thing here, man, has become my new favorite little console. And that's what it feels like. It feels like a console. It does emulation great because I use Batacera on this as well because I have it on a micro USB. So whatever I put that micro USB into automatically turns into an emulation machine. It's like a nice front end that just takes the resources. So there's not a whole lot of settings, but this thing here plays Steam games like a freaking champ. Like most of the games that we've been talking about or looking into run on this thing, no problem. And I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it a lot. I've been playing a lot more Steam. I've been checking out my wish list because there were some games that we talked about in the past. I was like, man, I really want to play that, but I'm not sure if my mini PC will play it. Don't have that issue now because this thing has like 32 gigs of RAM as opposed to 4. So
So I do have a devil's advocate question, and I'm gonna call you an old man
okay,
because you said you paid close to around $300.
yeah.
Why, old man Xander, did you not spend another $20 and get a Rogue Ally on eBay? They're about $320, bro. You could have played everything, high-end PC Steam games on it, and per this episode, it was just dropped. We basically have a Steam Deck for $320.
That's very true. The only reason why is because I'm like I'm not gonna really be playing it handheld, and then I would also have to get a deck. Like I would have to
A
get the
deck.
the little dock. That's what I meant to say. The dock. I'd have to have.
The docks are like $20 on eBay now or on Amazon though.
Oh, wow.
So old man Xander.
I still love
Is it
it.
that? Is it that Jeff failed you and didn't should I tell you? We're like son of a. You're like son of a bitch. Yeah, because like the Legion Go that I have is like double that price. But I think the Rogue Allies, if you go for like a refurbished one, which is
Yeah.
fine,
Yeah.
you can literally get one for. I was looking on because of the SteamOS shit that we're gonna talk about in a little bit. I was looking. Oh, how much are they? $320, and I'm like, well, it's a little pricey. For because I already have more than I ever will need, but
Right.
but for somebody getting a new micro PC, now I mean, because the thing is you can use all the stuff says the PC. That's why I wanted to be a devil's advocate on there and be like, did you realize now the cool thing that I found on my searches through the add-ons of YouTube? Um, you need to download a program called Win11 Debloat. And that's what you need to do on your mini PC because your mini PC has Windows on it, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So essentially, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to this debloat thing. It's gonna be on the little free GitHub website. You're gonna download this PS something file. Just download it, and then you put in this command code into your terminal that you run as administrator. It goes, it gets rid of all the AI Windows garbage that it automatically installs.
Oh, nice.
It gets rid, it debloats the Windows, and it will run significantly better for your little mini PC. It is going to fix all the things. And I ran it on my laptop yesterday and on my Legion Go, and both like significantly improved.
Ooh.
Like immediately. There's other programs out there. There's other stuff that will trigger Windows Defender. This one does not. This one is perfect. This one, it gets rid of a lot of the garbage on there. And then if there's something it removes that you want, you just reinstall it or whatever. But like it like literally ran through the stuff. It creates a restore point if you want, but it runs through the stuff and then it just like cleans it. And I'm like,
Which is great because Windows 11 is like full of like AI assist crap that I'm never going to use. Like I don't really care for it.
if I want to utilize some AI stuff, again, old men gamers, I'm just going to use ChatGPT on the website or something to research something,
Yeah.
or it's embedded in Google. So I just Googled
Yeah.
it. Like I, literally, that's how I found the debloat stuff. Is I Googled it and AI showed me. But no, so like that will help you significantly with the mini PC as well. And now all of a sudden it will streamline things.
I will say too, one good thing about the mini PC is God forbid if anything happens to my laptop that I use to record the show and do all my editing and everything. If anything was to happen to my laptop, I can use this mini PC because this is actually a little more powerful than my laptop. So if anything, I'm thinking about getting another one just to have as a workstation, just for, live streaming
Or you get the Rogue Ally and use that.
I could do that too. I could do that.
So a good transition though, another thing that dropped this week, which I don't think is in here, but it goes into SteamOS. But it also, the Tech Dweeb posted how to build the perfect ROM library. And
Yeah.
I thought that was neat. I thought that was neat for people that like to play a bit of retro. Is he showed from a younger person perspective because he's definitely younger than us, but not old, but not young. He's not super young either. But he was talking about how he likes to emulate things, and like he didn't like I noticed he didn't really understand homebrew. He's like wanted you to get rid of the UNL games on the NES library. UNL games also some NES homebrew are tagged as UNL because then he has another video on brand new Game Boy games and I'm like that you literally told us to delete those from our ROM files and then you just you're promoting these. But it's just younger mentality. He doesn't really know that. But I did like there was a file that you can Google and it's like one ROM, one file type deal, one ROM, one folder. So it doesn't give you the 27 versions of Super Mario 3 that you will get in a ROM zip or whatever. And I thought that I never knew about that. So that was something I learned there. And I mean, I got one of those 12 terabyte hard drive things filled with games, and then I curated it, tossed it on a different drive that's much smaller because I only need 12 terabytes of games. Um, I use the 12 terabytes for my media server, which is great. It's a cheaper hard drive is perfect for, not going super crazy server mode, but having something to store media. But I still got to figure out a good way for my ROMs onto my Legion Go because I just don't quite dig how it currently works. So,
Yeah.
but I liked his stuff. I like the way that he went over all the different ways to sort. And there were two things that I learned with him that I didn't know about, and it was this little command line thing that he did to move all the giant files from like a PlayStation game, I think, or maybe Sega Saturn, but PlayStation, and you put it into a folder, and then you run a little script. So that way it only shows one game for each PlayStation game.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
I didn't know about that, and I thought that was
So
neat.
cool.
Yeah, and then the other one was, I think it was like a zip file for DOS games or something, because I don't mess with DOS games too often. And so those are pretty cool projects, though, that would be fun to do. And you're just messing around, want something to mindlessly go through. You don't have to put forth a lot of thought. I think it'd be cool to go through. But as crazy OCD people are like me, I would spend more time doing that than playing games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's almost a hobby within itself when you go into the emulation like sphere of things because I like to tinker. And if you're someone who likes to
Yes.
tinker, emulation's fun for that. And that's I like that guy's channel a lot. He does a lot of the like emulation handhelds as well.
Mini handhelds.
He does a lot
Yeah.
of those, and it's a really good channel. And I'm definitely gonna look into it because something I hate being OCD is like when I go into my PlayStation folder and it's like Final Fantasy Disc 1, Disc 2, Disc 3, or sometimes it just says Final
Random
Fantasy
file.
3. And it's just like I just wanted one file to rule them all.
Exact.
You know?
So for me, that's really cool. And when I go and mess with, because I use Retro Bat for
Mm.
my back end on my Legion Go for retro stuff, I'm gonna likely jump through and go through and do his process for the few games that I put in there. Because the other piece was you don't necessarily need all the games for all the systems. You just need to have what you currently care about, what you want to play. You can have those folders somewhere else, but like your main list should be the curated stuff. And it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person that, especially when it comes to emulation, I'm like, yeah, you can download, all the ROMs, like that might be good for later, but don't worry about putting them all on your unit and waste up all that memory because I'm not going to be playing Tiny Toons Adventures on the Super Nintendo. I'm not going to be playing that, so I'm not going to have it on my library. I'd rather have room for like good Sega Saturn games and GameCube games and like PS2. But with that being said, I think this is a good transition. Oh, you got
To
one
the
more thing?
SteamOS. To the SteamOS.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, because
This is
so
wild.
saying because we got about a couple more little story things. Because yeah, we got the SteamOS, we got some other stuff that Xbox did, and we got some stuff I've been working on. So
Yeah.
um, so the SteamOS is an interesting one, and I wrote in the notes and why I'm not installing it on the Legion Go. And that's the thing. So SteamOS was dropped like yesterday at the time of this recording, because again, we record a couple weeks early. And so what it's doing is it takes the Legion Go, the Rogue Ally. I don't know if you can just install it on a normal, like your mini PC, but it takes it and turns it into a Steam Deck. And
Mm.
so essentially you have a Steam Deck in it, and it utilizes the bigger tech in those devices and allows you to run the Steam games even better because stuff is optimized for Steam Deck. So it's even more optimized on these more powerful handhelds that were because they were released after the Steam Deck. And so the reason why I'm not installing it. So as we've talked about on the podcast, it should be no surprise that I use my Legion Go for a lot of stuff. I use it for making books. I use it for all the things. So I don't know if you knew this, but if you install SteamOS right now, it wipes everything It does a
Oh.
standard install. You can't dual boot. So it just installs SteamOS.
Mm.
Now, once you install SteamOS, you can side load and dual boot the other way onto Windows 11, but it wipes all your stuff out. So I have, I'm working on multiple book projects up on my Legion Go right now. It's up on my television,
Mhm.
and I use that because I use a giant television for a big screen, so I can, make sure everything is lined up good. And I can do it without it on the little screen. And so when I'm traveling here in a few weeks, like I'll have my Legion Go and I'll have my little portable keyboard and everything, and I'll still be able to work on projects. But that right there means I'm not installing SteamOS until they allow me to just like have a dual booter. Like I want to be able to like just choose Windows or Steam. Um,
Mhm.
or just, like when you actually have Steam on Windows and hit big picture mode and it creates like Steam. But it wants I know why they're doing it like that because it makes it run way better because there's
Yeah.
no other garbage on the system. But for somebody who utilizes their device for more than just gaming, that's the first thing. The second thing is we've talked about it. I like to put on like mods and stuff, PC mods on the games.
Mm.
So it now makes it a Steam Deck. So you have to do the Steam Deck versions of those mods, which are limited to be
Yeah.
running through Steam OS. It's running through Linux and its own construct. And you can get stuff to work with Steam Deck, but it's more limited than just having a Windows PC and running the Windows app and making it work. And then also, I'm pretty sure it pretty much limits all the Xbox PC Game Pass stuff to only running through cloud mode. So
Mm.
if you're running on SteamOS, I can't just go to the Xbox app. PC Game Pass app is what is the Game Pass app and download the newest games that are loaded. So then, so for me, SteamOS isn't going to work for my Legion Go, but it's why I Googled or went on eBay and said, "Oh, well, how much is a Rogue Ally refurbished?" And
Yeah.
$300. I'm like, oh, that's how much you paid for your mini PC.
Yep.
But at that point, I have a Steam Deck. Do I need one? And I'm like, no, I don't need one. I have a Steam Deck. Steam Deck works great. I have another one for my higher end stuff. I don't need SteamOS on two devices. And the other thing is, and that's why I didn't upgrade my original. I'm looking back because it's right here. Why I didn't upgrade my original Steam Deck is that I have loaded a lot of my own apps because you don't have to just do Steam games in there, like official Steam games. You can load non-Steam games. But when you do that, I haven't found on Google or any of that stuff a way to just take, all right, my whole Steam Deck and put it on the new one with all my
Right.
settings. Like I don't want to have to reinstall. Like so say you take your all of your retro games, right, on Steam and you can install every Nintendo game individually, and it shows up in Steam and in all the stuff. You could have Mario 1, 2, 3, every Nintendo game, every you could do that for every system and make it look awesome. So I have stuff like that on my deck. Do I want to have to redo all of that, like hours of fun that I and it was fun as shit to do.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for me to do that. I like to tinker. I like to tinker that much.
Yeah.
Like it's so having to redo that process on another device, the fact that both those devices wouldn't be one-to-one compatible, like if they had a way to somehow take all of that hard drive, put it to that hard drive, make it all just work Nintendo style, I
Yeah.
might be more inclined. But as of right now, SteamOS just ain't it. If you could dual boot, maybe, because then I could literally just pop over and get it done. Um, uh,
Yeah. I mean, it's still a good little choice, in case you are that person that gets the ROG Ally that really prefers, just to play Steam. You can essentially turn it
yeah,
into a Steam Deck. And ROG Ally is just a hair a little bit more powerful than the Steam Deck on certain things. So that'd be pretty dope. That'd be pretty nice.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, I mean, and of course, I'm using the Legion Go as something that is not, well, it is intended to be a Windows machine, but it's, it's not, I'm not utilizing it for only pure gaming. So I might be a
Right.
weird. I like having, in the living room, I got my laptop, which is nice. It's a nice little laptop thing to work on video editing, do all the stuff. And then over here, and I actually moved my book projects to the Legion Go about a few months ago. So before that, I might have done it, but now that I got Adobe running on that thing, because it runs really well, it's great, and you can literally with USB, Bluetooth, keyboards and mice. I got a PC. It's awesome, the little micro PC, and then I can unplug it, and I got my handheld gaming system. It's like the Switch of PC. Like it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it removes that functionality that I enjoy. So I'm like, I don't need it. And I mean, even with the retro games, I'm like, I don't put that many retro games on any of my other stuff because I have the analog pocket. I got
Yeah.
that like when it first came out years ago, and that thing works great. It's FPGA.
Mhm.
And that actually is a good segue, unless you got something else on SteamOS. The good segue to what Microsoft dropped yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they
crap.
dropped down some retro stuff, some good old Atari.
No, it's called Retro Classics, and it's
Mm.
on Game Pass. It's not Atari. It is all retro stuff. It goes from Atari all the way to PC, PlayStation 2.
Oh
Everything is
wow.
out. And
Oh.
it's basically Activision and Sierra games are on this
Mhm.
Xbox Game Pass Retro Classics. But what you're gonna see is everybody playing like Pitfall, and because that's like the first thing that pops up on the little screen. But they do this thing. It's like the Activision challenge patches, which I took reference when I made my own patches for premium back in the day. And so you got these little challenges that you can do to do fun stuff. They got leaderboards online. They got all this stuff. They just dropped, and it's free to download. For those of you like me who don't own an Xbox but only use Game Pass, I think it's running it off of cloud and not
Mm.
installing it natively, because I was playing Bedfall and it was laggy on Atari.
Mm.
And why that's a good transition from analog pocket is I'm used to now FPGA, and it's like 1-to-1 with a D-pad, of course, but it's instead of the controller, but 1-to-1 movement button presses. It's really like no lag. And so now I'm playing on this, and it's like low, and there's screen tearing, and
Oh.
could also be because I'm playing it on Legion Go, and it's HDMI from because there's no first party dock, HDMI from a thing to my TV, not even a monitor. Like it could just be the trash way that I'm doing this.
That's true though. Yeah.
But that could be why. So I'm going to unplug it and actually take the Legion Go and play it again to see if maybe it plays a little better, because it's not enjoyable. It's not an enjoyable experience for me to try to do challenges. And the challenges to me are the fun thing. If I want to play the
Yeah.
games, I got the games in 27 different million places. But the challenges, the leaderboards, doing all that seems really fun. I mean, we even had the disgruntled gamer hit me up and say, "Hey, what's your Xbox thing?" Because he's on there doing
Yeah.
challenges. Set like a record. Send me a message. Set a record on. There's this game called The Adventures of the Willie Beamish. Well, it's like a Sierra Point click game where you go around and do an adventure game. But there's like a little mini game in there, and they have a high score challenge in this thing for this mini game. It's cool as shit. He got the top score at the time of when he sent it to me. And so they're getting people reinvigorated into some retro games. And there's even prototypes in there too. There's this one where it's like
Wow.
human highway crusher, and you're doing this human thing, and they're getting crushed by cars, and like for the Atari. Um, but there's a lot of they have Super Nintendo games in there. They got a bunch of stuff. It's not just Atari, but Atari is what's on the forefront of it, because
Yeah.
it's what
That's yeah, because I watched a Metal Jesus Rocks video, and he was mostly just covering the Atari stuff. So I thought that's just what it was, like Activision Atari games, like Pitfall, Hero, stuff like that. You had to play Hero.
it's just Los Hero, but that's the thing though, is that there's lots to go there. That thing has legs if because they already have jacked this up before with the old Xbox 360 when they did the little retro arcade thing that they had back in the day. They
Love
keep
that.
adding, but if they keep adding content to it, it's gonna be fun. But if
Yeah.
they stop supporting it, it's gonna like die a quick death. There's no slow deaths anymore in gaming. People
Yeah.
next week will forget about this thing.
Oh
The
yeah.
thing is cool as shit. But like, so that's why I want to, while it's still hot, while there's still people playing it, I want to try, and I'm gonna unplug and see if the Legion Go will work with it. Because yeah, it looks cool as shit. It is a fun one. And again, I haven't owned an Xbox since Xbox One, the original Xbox One.
Mhm.
I didn't upgrade. And so like the fact that PC Game Pass works great and you can install everything locally on my Legion Go is perfect. But if they're only allowing you to play retro games via with competition via
Cloud.
cloud
Yeah.
gaming, it's not like you got to do stuff that does not require precision action, which means that this would be only recommended for Xbox, like on it
Yeah.
on the actual console, unless my janky ass system setup I just need to fix my shit. That's who's
Yeah.
to say, man.
Yeah.
But
And there's always updates too, in case some.
So the project side of things, I've been working on some cool art. There's actually a retro game that I bought. There's this thing called this like homebrew factory. I had to look over homebrew factory that they've been doing on this one place, and I think it's Broke Studio, and they got the Jalico license to do Pizza Pop, which we talked about, I think.
Hmm.
Pizza, and I got it in Pizza Pop.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
so this is a platformer on the NES. It was released only Famicom back in the day. And it's cool as shit. You get to smash, you get to throw pizzas and everything. Well, what's neat about this is I had already made a pixel on it. So this wooden pixel of Pizza Pop, where it's like he's got 3D. So I already did this guy before it came in. So now I already got like a little fun Pizza Pop. Like that's what I like doing these like little fun things is that it adds a little depth. So if I like had this with my collection, I could have him on the shelf somewhere.
That's
And
cool. I like that.
and that's kind of like what I want to do with these for my own collection. Of
Mhm.
course, I will be at conventions and those that are on Patreon have opportunities. But so here's the neat thing. So I'm working on doing the commissions for the Super Nintendo guys. And so one asked for Mario 3. So I got Mario 3 painted. And look at what the wood did to the colors, because this color should have been the right Mario colors. It made it look like more realistic. Because the wood
I was
part,
about to say I really like it. I mean, I've always liked the Super Mario All-Stars like graphic style on the Super
yeah.
Nintendo. And so I can definitely see the inspiration of that. But yeah, the colors really like it looks really cool.
And so you can see these are a little bit bigger because I went a little bit bigger for those that got it off of Kickstarter. So that way they have something cool. And then I also did this guy, which you've already seen, but this one is Mario from Super Mario Maker on the Wii U. They had a bunch of different
Mhm.
Mario skins in Mario 1, and he said that, and I think it was one long time supporter said him and his son play Mario Maker. And I'm like, I'll make whatever. Like y'all commissioned it.
Yeah.
Like if you want to do Super Nintendo, cool. If you want to do Mario Maker, cool. But just in case he changed his mind, I did a different one.
Oh,
Oh
that's
man,
cool.
I did a Super Nintendo one of him, and so this one he's like all dirty too and everything,
Yeah.
and so like this is custom. This was from the game, so you know it's the one from the game, and it's much bigger. This is when I decided. This is before I decided to go bigger for them. This is the normal size. This one's super thick though.
That's a thick
Um,
one.
so that's a thick boy. Um, and then one wanted to do Donkey Kong
Mm.
from Donkey Kong Country. And it's super crazy. As you know, like it's all the 3D rendering. Well, this one, the way that the laser did it, because I'll do lasering first to give it depth. I asked him, like, I don't know if I should color anymore. So I did red, I did white, and I did black. And after that, I'm like, it's already pretty good. Check this out, dude.
Wow.
I was like,
And for the folks that are listening and whatnot, like I remember you showed me the picture before you painted it. And I
Yeah.
was like, when you showed me that picture of the just an unfinished, I was like, man, it looks so good. But man, with that extra little bit of detail,
And literally I just did the black portions. I did the red where he has like the little tie because this is where Donkey Kong's dancing.
yeah,
He wins.
at the very end, yeah.
Yeah. And so all I did was I did the black pieces. And I'm like, man. So I just messaged and she was like, oh no, that's cool as shit. Like I was like, because I could do more brown, but the brown's good. Like this is actually the wood grain. So
Yeah.
like this looks way cooler.
Yeah.
And, and then I have one that I haven't showed you because they just hit me up the other day. I haven't painted it yet. And it is from Final Fantasy VI when they did the opera scenes. This is
Oh,
Celis.
dude, that's awesome. Oh,
So
wow.
this is when yeah, so I got a painter still. And as you can see though, I make sure that I cut out the right spots as well before I do
Yeah,
it. And now I'm gonna hand paint the whole thing and make sure it looks badass. So I can
that's
show
cool.
this off to the viewers for the next one after the art is done. But that's not all I've been working on, Xander.
All right.
I did coins for the stretch goals. So we had three stretch goals on the Kickstarter. We had one where they get a sticker, one where they get a bookmark, which the bookmarks still haven't come in. I got a shipping notification, so they should be in. But then I got the final one, I'm like, got coins. And I'm like, well, instead of doing, because with the complete Genesis, the coin looks badass. I'm like, what if I did like wooden nickel coins and I etched them and lasered them myself? So I was messing around with it and now I'm making them all. But check out the coin of this,
Holy,
dude.
wow.
It's like,
That
it
is
is the,
insane.
and it's the little wooden nickel.
It's
And it's like, oh,
insane. Like how it has the detail of the Super Nintendo.
yeah,
That's so
putting my
cool.
hand there for the YouTube viewers so you could actually see because it's actually cut out. It's 3D cut out. You can see all the characters, and it says Higgins Alley Books in the top. It says the complete SNES at the bottom. And so all I do is, and I have like little magnets. So I just drop this in. I drop in the new coin thing and I have it etch it because I had to like create vectors and I had to make sure Star Wars art looked good. And I had to like do different versions. So some of our patrons that do the physical tiers, the producers and above, are going to get some of the demo ones of these where it's like super dark or super light or as I was messing because I dialed this in. And there's only going to be 100 of these, just like there's only 100 Dustleys. So I think I'm at about 80 of these already made because it takes about 10 minutes to do the process for these.
Mm.
Um, and then the final thing, Xander, which you have seen, which is freaking amazing. So I I was working on trying to do because I'm about to go to a convention where Paul Niemeyer is going to be there, Mortal Kombat dude. I'm like, let me do a Mortal Kombat dragon. But I found a bootleg Famicom Mortal Kombat logo
Oh,
and
wow.
it's NES logo. So and what I like to do is I like to do 8-bit stuff. I mean, my wife calls her company 8-bit, so I
Mhm.
wanted to do more like Nintendo, Nintendo style 8-bit stuff. And so I went through and the bootleg one's all squish, looks like shit, but I vectorized it. I made it the right proportions, and then I edited the actual pixels so that way it flowed better, closer to Paul's design. And so now I have a custom created by me digitally version of Mortal Kombat. And then I showed you the wooden version of it. And I had people asking, they're like, man, are you going to paint it? I was like, I wasn't going to paint it. I think it looks cool. And I decided I was going to paint it. I did it black with orange. And check this shit out, dude.
That is dope. That is
Dude,
great.
this is like what it turned out to be. Now, this is Nintendo style pixels for it. Like, this is not like high resolution. This is like pixelated. And it is wild. So now I can make these and take them to the convention where Paul's at and be like, hey, I got some cool 8-bit stuff. And this is a coaster. This is a thick coaster. I put the little coaster things on it and literally you put your drink on it. This is again painted with acrylic paint too. Like so, this is
That's
super
great.
easy to paint. this is crazy. This is easy to beat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just went through, and now here's the thing. This is all layered wood.
I see that.
So yeah, this is like different layers because the way that the wood is, it like cuts it differently. So this is has a crazy texture and depth to it, and then the top is just the top of the thing. So
Almost feels like scales. Feels like
it
dried those
does
scales.
dragon scales. Now it's so the thing is like that's where I'm turned into like I do books and hipster artist shit and we podcast. That's kind of like but like that was I did a lot of shit this week and
Yeah.
not to mention I'm still working on a giant canvas and I haven't really messed around with that too much because my thing is I want to focus on the commissions. I'm waiting on because I only did five. I'm waiting on the fifth person. They haven't responded yet. So
Yeah.
like I sent them an email last week. Like it's like but it's I already got these ready. So that way this weekend I got to work on assembling all the dust sleeves. Let's take the dust sleeves and put them in the Super Nintendo one, get it
Mhm.
all ready for shipping. And then, of course, I'm also going to ask them if they want me to sign the book or whatever, too. Yes, I always do if they want me to. But yeah, I noticed, man, there's some crazy stuff. Like, there are games I released back like 10 years ago that are like $500 on eBay.
Yeah.
Like $500. There are people that are selling like some of my books like double what I was selling them for. Like it is the world is wild. That's why I'm like, I'm just gonna do cool stuff for people. And if y'all dig it, I will keep doing cool stuff. I don't necessarily redo things. Yes,
Yeah.
because like I'll move on to something cool and new. And now with the art stuff. I won't like if somebody buys Pizza Pop, I won't necessarily not make another Pizza Pop because I want one for me. So I'll likely continue doing the art if people want to do those because I'm not looking to make rare limited stuff. But also like it takes hours to do one. So
Right.
yeah, that's why I like the wood grain ones because even with Donkey Kong, it did cut down my time significantly and I have to individually paint all this brown. But it already was brown. So
You're right.
kind of worked out
Very,
real well.
very,
Yes,
very natural. Yeah.
that one saved me some time. But it is how many minutes into this recording? We probably need to move on to some indie stuff, Xander.
And especially with some indie stuff that was sent to us because we've been playing a little demo.
Oh yeah,
The only issue is
this one, Gemmiferous is the game that was sent in this by. We won't be able to say the name right because it's weird, but it's JS Lovey Dev. JS Lovey Dev sent us their game. And so Gemmiferous, I will read it. It is a fusion of match 3 combat style and roguelite dungeon crawling. Explore vast dungeons, assemble unique tile sets, uncover hidden treasures, discover powerful relics, fight long forgotten creatures, and most importantly, have fun doing so. You can't tell me what to do. Yes. um, so it was very interesting is that there's like a story mode in there almost. Like it's like a tiered level for the world that you go through. So like you'll play through, it's like a match 3 in the middle, and then on the sides you got your character and the enemy you're fighting.
yeah.
And there's definitely been games that have done that. I remember there was a DS game that did that. That was really fun.
Yeah.
The
It made
Jewel Quest or something.
Jewel Quest. It also made me think of like some of the like games like the Sonic's Mean Bean Machine. They kind of had that combat puzzle element or Street Fighter puzzle fighter, you know?
Puzzle Fighter too, yeah. And so it's very interesting. What I did like was is so I played through the first one. You do your match stuff. It attacks the enemy. I didn't really know when the enemy would die. I probably just missed it, but like I literally just felt like I was more so trying to do the matches as fast as I could.
Yeah.
But there's like swords and bows, and then there's like shields, and there's like this little like a box, which I think the box
Mm.
just causes chaos so that we can do more matches. There's also like a ring, which I didn't know what the ring did, and I'm looking to see if there's anything else that I noticed. I think there might have been one other thing, but after I beat the first enemy. You go through, there's like a bonus mode, there was some other stuff to buy, and then you can upgrade. And so I
Mhm.
upgraded to this big old hammer thing. And so then when I went to the next level, there's a hammer there too, and it's allowing me to match hammers that also attack and kill the enemies.
Yeah.
And so like there's a RPG style mechanic to power up all of your things, which I think is neat. And I assume there's a risk versus reward where if you do too many upgrades, too many new things, that you won't get great matches.
Yeah. And you can also upgrade the town. Like you rebuild the town while you're going through as well. Because I was sitting there rebuilding like the blacksmith and stuff like that, and rebuilding the church. And it it's a lot of fun because I'm not like a big puzzle gamer, but I do like when puzzle games have essence to it. And this game has like a personality. It's not just because it could just be a Candy Crush game and it would be like whatever. But the fact that it has
Yeah.
like a story to it, it has some sort of like goal other than just beating the puzzle. Like you want to beat the puzzle to rebuild the town. You have different characters that you can unlock now. We couldn't get all the characters because some of them were taken out of the demo, but it looked like a lot of fun. I was having a blast with it.
Well, I mean, and my thing is with puzzle games is at this point, being old man gamer, I don't like being stressed out playing through my games, like having a timer on me and a
Mhm.
clock. So, I mean, it's competitive gaming is what you do. Anyways, that's how you do it. But going through this, that's why with Snake Scremental, I like that I could just turn off the auto and do it at my own leisure. So that's where like I have to have a hook, which this game has to do one more playthrough in order to unlock more stuff to beat the next guy. So I think it does it well. I I think once I got through a spot where I hit a boss or something, that's where I stopped playing for the term. But
Mhm.
it's awesome. It's in early access, right? Or not early access. It's in coming soon. We just got a beta key, right? So
Yeah.
this isn't so this game isn't even what the final version is going to look like yet, which I think is really cool. Um, the only thing is, it's not controller compatible yet. So
Yeah.
you had to use mice, keyboard, and mouse. What I want to do is I haven't messed around with it. Is playing it in handheld mode and using the touchscreen to see how that works because that might be super fun using
That
the
would be
touchscreen.
that would be that would be pretty better. Because I was
Or on deck because one thing with the Steam Deck is it's happened to me about 2 or 3 times over the last 4 years is that the touchscreen will stop working. You got to do like a manual reset, and so I just did that with mine so that way I could play more
nice.
Gemmiferous. Yeah, because I just want to see if like I can fuck around with the little touchscreen and because if I can match a little faster because I'm not like great at doing it. And it might just be the UI within it too. It's just meant to be a little slower so you don't go too fast. So sometimes
Yeah.
developers do that on purpose.
Yeah. Uh, Either way, I thought it was a lot of fun. I was like, you know what, this game ain't bad. I mean, you can as of the recording, there is like you can apply to be a tester for it. So that's something cool to look into. So you can do a play test, and that's kind of like
I
what we
recommend
did.
you do it
Uh,
if you think it looks cool because I know you're gonna show some B-roll probably
oh
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, if you think it looks cool, try it out. It's fun. And again, neither of us are huge puzzle fans, and it drew us in. So that's saying something, is that it's cool. And I want to play more of it. It's in my backlog, not the fast backlog, but the normal back. It's in the backlog. So yeah, dude. And then like I had one randomizer come up this week and it's called Souls Spectrum.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be a Zelda game. It was not. It is a overhead action puzzle game.
Oh wow.
And so,
I thought it
yeah,
was gonna be a Zelda game.
yep, no. And unless it opens up later and I'm just in the dungeon and haven't left yet. But you play as a character and you like basically you just walk and you immediately die. And
Mhm.
then they bring you back to life and then you're a skeleton. Then you walk across and spikes kill you. Then you turn into a ghost. Turn into a ghost, and then you walk and you hit light and you die. And then you're the soul. And so then you're the soul, and then you talk, and they do this whole story thing. And so the puzzle is going between what the different characters can do, your different forms of your life. So the person, the skeleton,
Wow.
soul, the ghost in the soul, and some in the like the ghost can teleport. The character can roll. Like there's some different stuff that it can do, and it's opening up for me right now because there's little save points. So I've only went through a little bit of this game, but so far it's neat. It's a cool way to go through it. I don't know if they add like weapons later or nothing, so if it turns into an action puzzle game or not, or if it's just a straight puzzle game. Right now, it feels like a straight puzzle game. And you're gonna have to use your brain because there's four. When you have four different aspects, that gets a little complex. So it's gonna be cool.
What a cool concept.
Yeah, and I can't figure out where to go. It's like you need to go ahead, and I'm like, I keep dying. I don't know where to fly because you just die and then go back to the teleport thing. So it's not like it's crazy to die, but I'm like, I can't figure out what I'm already losing at the beginner puzzles, Xander. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, man, I'm just getting too old for this. But that was on the randomizer on the Steam Deck, and because I had the Steam Deck up, I probably could do a new randomizer at the end of this episode. So
Oh yeah. That's become like a new favorite thing on the show is the randomizer. Nice segment.
yeah, and I noticed there was a game you added, Xander.
There is Super Cat Boy, which is like normally a 9.99 game right now as of this recording. It's like $2. And I was just, with the new mini PC, I was going through some of the games and stuff, and I saw Super Cat Boy, and I'm like, well, it's a cheap indie. The name of it was just kind of like Super Cat. It didn't sound that inspiring, but I watched the trailer and I'm like, wow, this looks really, really good. And this is like a love letter to Super Nintendo platformers because there's some elements of Donkey Kong Country and Earthworm Jim that I really see the inspiration and concept of this game.
It looks cool, yeah, because like, well, the graphics are like super defined. Like they it look like something that you would have saw on like the Sega Saturn almost. But then the actual gameplay is like that Sonic speed to it, which is awesome.
And surprisingly, there's like 24 levels. I'm on like level 17 right now. And there is a story. It's like this plane crashed, and apparently the plane had like all these test subjects. You're like a test subject cat by this mad scientist. He's almost like that doctor who's mixing humans and animals. So you fight dogs, like dog soldiers. That's who you're fighting in the game. But you meet like this girl, and she's like this rebel.
You say now before you get too far, you say that it's a cat, but literally it's Marty McCat. He's
Yeah.
wearing a red vest. He has shades on. He has the '90s tude, man. He's like anthropomorphic,
Yeah.
badass looking cat. So yeah.
Yeah, and the girl you meet, she's also badass. And she's got a grandpa who's also badass. And there is a story. I skip a lot through the story because some of it was getting kind of boring. I'm like, the writing's good, but I wasn't in the mood for a story. I was in the mood for high adrenaline platforming action, and that's what I got from Super Cat Boy because every stage had like a different flavor to it. There's a cart level that's very reminiscent of Donkey Kong Country. Pissed me off, but when I finally beat it, I enjoyed it. And there was like one stage it's almost like a haunted house, kind of like in Super Mario World, where you had to collect different orbs to kind of get to the boss, and it's a lot of fun. Like it's a lot of
How's
fun.
the actual controls, the gameplay? Is it tight or is it loose like like Super Nintendo?
It's pretty tight. It's pretty good.
Pretty tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you go back and play Earthworm Jim, Booger Man, all that stuff, the jumps are a little floaty in those games now. You gotta
Mhm.
get like back into the mode. Whereas we all want like tight platforming now, like
Yeah.
Nintendo style, but type platforming. And you say what you were just saying too is like pretty funny, like the skipping the story type thing, because that's the main modern way that we have to game because like those of us that work a lot, it's like our time is precious, or we're working on other projects, like me
Yeah.
doing all the art stuff. So like when we play games, it has to be optimized. So we got to find those games where it's not a ton of bloat, unless I feel like spending hours watching
Yeah.
cinematics and movies stuff. Then I got to be dedicated. I got to be in the mood for that. But like for a normal old person gamer, I want to jump in and start playing some
Well,
stuff.
I mean, it would be like I'd get through a stage that I really loved, and then before I'd get to the next stage, it would be like a little cut scene, and after a while, I was like, dude, okay, cut out the the fat. I want the meat, you know. So I would just skip the
Yeah.
story and get to the next stage because it was that fun, and the fact that it was like $2, you know, I feel like it is definitely worth 9.99. Like it is a $10 good platforming indie, but 2.99. I'm not gonna complain. I cannot recommend it enough though. Super Cap.
Exactly. Exactly. You are the superest of all cat boys. So the other one was an interesting one because I got sent this code in my email, and I don't know if I backed it on Kickstarter, if it's a developer, but it's called Elementalist. And I got a second email and I forwarded it over to you. I thought maybe it was a new code, maybe you could play it too. And I think you said it didn't work. So,
Man.
or if it is the developer, hook us up. But this is a Zelda style game.
Mm.
This one's crazy. And again has story, lots of story, but you're going through and it's like Zelda with elemental magic.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
so yeah, I like when games do that. It reminds me of like I don't know if you ever played Alka-Heist on the Super Famicom, Super Nintendo. That game was badass. It kind of gives me vibes of that, but with more of a Zelda 3 aspect. And so you're like, this whole story is your parents are mages, whatever. You're with this old man because your parents go off and want to save the world, and you get the sword and you start going off in these elements. This dead element is because some of the elements, like once they use their elemental power, they turn dead. They're like white. It's following you around. And so that's where I'm currently at. And it just set me loose on the overworld, Zelda style. Didn't give me any guidance. There's no marker, which is cool. But I'm going to have to hunt a little bit now. It's fun as shit, though. The game is really cool. Gameplay is tight, and I can already see where shit's gonna get super complex based on elements. Because I even on the overworld, I went to a spot and there was a house that was on fire, and I couldn't get into it. I'm assuming I'm gonna have an element that will douse that fire, and I could go in there and find a treasure chest or something. And even when I was wandering, I found an item that was like a sewing kit. And then what it did was it opened up my item pouch and sewed a slots. I got another slot in my item pouch. I was like, oh, that's a neat way to do that. So I was already starting to get some upgrades, which just shows me that there are layers to this game from a, Zelda style perspective. So it seems like it's really well done. This one might be one of the ones that I add to my fast backlog that I'll be playing while I'm in my moving mode here in the next few weeks. Like I'll be playing some games as we're going from hotel to hotel or whatever until we get an actual house.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
That's awesome.
probably won't be Oblivion. It probably won't be 33. Those games are slow. I need something substance. That and probably Grand Theft Auto 5 because I've never beaten that, so I play through some of that. But Elementalist is cool as shit, dude. That was a good one. So I think that was the only game you played that was on the list is the Super Cat Boy. But we did decide that we're going to split off our episodes from the On the Horizon to we're going to do two sections. One is called New and Noteworthy. So and noteworthy is the key. That's also how Steam calls it. But
Yeah.
because all of our games are brand new. So new and noteworthy. And then the budget section. And why Super Cat Boy doesn't fit in that is because it's under $2. Games that I found over the week that you found over the week that are under $2. And we got a fuck ton this they're great ones too. One was a recommendation from the community too. So you want to do new and noteworthy first or the budget section first?
We'll do the new and noteworthy.
New and noteworthy first. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And the irony is that there hasn't been any new and noteworthy for like 5 days. And this morning before we recorded, I found like a half dozen.
I was about to say I looked at the show notes before we started recording because I looked at it last night and when I see that this morning I was like, oh, there's some new stuff here.
Well, those were already found. I got those like last week, but I hadn't had anything because usually, like throughout the week, there'll be new ones that I'll find. I hadn't found anything noteworthy until this morning, and I found more. So I got more for next week's episode already.
Oh yeah.
But these are some of the ones that we alluded to on last episode. First one's another music game, and this one's called Rhythmos. Rytmos, Rhythmos. and it is a weird looking 3D. Reminds me of like Tetrisphere almost.
Yeah,
And
it's interesting.
and is it indie? That's a couple of these are like, is it indie? And it's going to go into next week as well because this game, I think it is, but it was released in 2023. It was the number three best game of the year for Eurogamer. It got a finalist in the Apple Design Awards in 2024. Um, but you go from planet to planet discovering music.
Yeah, it
But
almost has like a We Love Calamari kind of look, but with like more puzzle elements. Like, and you're not, it's not like the game where you're rolling the ball, but the graphic style. It's
oh
very
yeah,
calamari looking.
like voxel, like every because it's
Mm.
again, like I said, it's like Tetrisphere because you went from like planet to planet to do the puzzles. This one's like super puzzly, but it says it's very relaxing. I'm looking for like games that are like little chill, relaxing games to play before the
Zen.
bed. So
Yeah.
Zen games. So I think this one hits that. It was released by Floppy Club, and this is the only game they have listed on Steam. So that's always interesting when you see that. The game is pretty positive, like 80% positive. And I mean, it doesn't have a whole lot on the game on like what it is. It just says travel from planet to planet, to discover new music, solve puzzles.
Yep.
So I think as you solve the puzzles, it creates music loops that evolve in the musical compositions as you solve the puzzle.
That's pretty dope. I like
Like I was like,
I like
like I
that.
was like, it's as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, Xander's gonna, you're gonna
I
be
like
like,
that.
this sounds fucking cool. And the game just looks awesome. It got like small screen winner Nordic Game of the Year. It has all these little crazy aspects to it. Like it is a award-winning game that nobody's ever heard of. That's the crazy thing, right?
Well,
Like,
sometimes the names of games can kind of throw things off too. Like this next game that we want to talk about, that the name really raises your eyebrow.
well, it's called Ariel, or like as we call it, Ariel. Like the game is so close to a perverted name that it's like distracted almost. But then you look at like the actual game on Steam, and you're like a damn Sonic ring moving fast as shit through a platformer, and the graphics look like it's a damn storybook hand painted. Like it looks freaking amazing.
It
Like
looks
this game
so
looks awesome.
cool. It looks so cool. So you're playing as like an Angel's Halo? Is that what that is? Like it
I think so.
looks like that, and yeah, you're going through loops, and it's it almost made me think of that one game on the Super Nintendo. You remember what was that? Loop, Zoop.
Zoop.
Remember that game where you played this little unicycle?
I don't know. It looks like I'm dashing as Sonic.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
oh, and you're talking about Uniracers?
Yes,
What is a
Uniracers.
unicycle? You're in the suit. Uniracers, bro. No, yeah, there is that type of mentality of flying through. Also it reminds me of the wheel as Kirby. When Kirby turns into the wheel. Like zzz.
Yeah.
Like that's what it reminds me of too. But the graphics look so cool because like a lot of times when you have like the more simpler artwork, it makes it look like cell phony. This one is like shows that's not that style, but a more simplistic,
Mhm.
cartoony art style that looks amazing. And
Yeah.
there's tons of animation, tons of like this game looks awesome. And it is because the last game was $15. This game's on sale for under $10. Ariel, Ariel, Wings of Hope. Wings of Hope is what it is called. But like again, the name is not great because it's just doesn't sound. I would see that and be like, all right, it's 18 plus. Move on. Like let's be real. There's all types of things. It is published by Xandu Soft, who has done some games. Also like the main art also adds to it because like they have a demon with X's over the nipples.
Yeah.
Are you trying to not be a pervert name? So like X's over the nipples of the demon, like that. I would have just left it blank, guys. Like you don't need to put the perverted shit on there. Like ah. Um, this so it looks like these developers did it defaulted to Jandusoft. So I don't know if the developer defaulted to the publisher because they have like lots and lots of different games in here. When we
You know
talked
what?
about Camino Heroes and other stuff like that, Jandusoft published that.
Mm. Yeah, sometimes the graphics kind of make me think of like the shadowy levels. I'm going back to Donkey Kong Country for some reason. Like you remember in like Donkey Kong Country Returns, where like you
Yeah.
had that stage where it was kind of shadowy. Like, there's some stages that kind of look like that in this game. I think it's really, really cool.
Exactly. No, it's so the thing is this game could be a 10 out of 10. This could be like an S tier game, but the name means that people have skipped it.
Yeah.
And you know, like, and the thing is I always think about this, like, we're the oddities who follow. Like, I hunt this shit down. We play all the things, and we don't know about these things. And what about just normal gamer, the millions that just casually game? Like, they're not
Yeah.
gonna find this stuff because it'll be filtered out. And this game looks awesome. I want more people to know about aerial. It's just even saying it sounds terrible, but the game itself looks awesome, and like these are games that like I want to play. All these games I want to play,
This
and
next
it's
one I
just
really want to play. This next one looks
holy
really
cow,
good. Free ride.
dude! Holy crap! Like that's the thing. The new noteworthy section this week were insane. All the games are like excellent looking. Yeah, Free Ride. It's like a narrative RPG that's also a personality test.
Yeah.
But the graphics look all modern, 3D.
Yeah, it's got a really cool aesthetic to it. I do like the personality thing, like certain decisions you make, like determine the future. So that adds a lot of replay ability to it as well. Um, I'm wondering what the battle system's all about because from what I'm seeing, it's like very, very platformy. Like there's a lot of like stuff to run around and stuff like that.
And there is a lot of story. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's
looks cool.
go into it knowing that, yeah, you're gonna be also reading a little bit. Says it's unsupported for Steam Deck, is what it says.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. But it literally says it on Steam, so it still might be okay because you got to look at the other the one that the fans run, the compatibility that the fans run. But it's a $20 game as well. Very positive though, 90% positive. So let's see, Flighty Felon games. Let's see if Flighty Felon has released anything else that we might know. Um, SCP Doki Doki Anomaly.
Huh. Looks like a visual novel
Horror
puzzle
dating,
game.
horror dating sim with the match three. Like, okay. So they have some unique, weird stuff, which is cool. Free Ride looks awesome. One that I wanna definitely check out and play, and it just has that weird, funny vibe to it, which means the story
Yeah.
is probably pretty cool though to also like play, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this was interesting because I remember you mentioned the notes that is it too big to be indie?
Yeah, because I mean, it looks insane. It's like embark on an adventure across floating islands. So in other words, very Zelda Tears of the Kingdom late
Yeah.
inspired. And even graphically, very Zelda Tears of the Kingdom inspired. But it looks awesome. Like it looks crazy. And I think what is it, $10 or something?
It's actually on
Yeah,
sale right.
eight,
It's on sale.
$8 game that looks like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Um, I can never remember the name of the game, but it is what's the game that you can download for free? It's now on PlayStation. It's on
Oh,
Xbox. It's on
Genshin Impact.
exactly. It reminds me of like a Genshin Impact style where it's
Yeah.
like, is this Genshin?
Yeah,
But
I really like it. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm looking at the user reviews. And
Yeah.
there's like two, but they seem to be pretty positive. Very, very big thumbs up. A lot of people say I gave this a shot because it gave me Xenoblade Zelda vibes. I've completed a few islands and currently trying to beat that boss on Island 4. But so far, they've enjoyed it. I've played. I love the music, visuals, movement, and mechanics. This game screams fantasy RPG. So I mean, this could be a really really fun game.
Thing is as I was thinking Genshin Impact and thinking of like we did, the attack of the whole Hollow Knight clones in the previous episode back in the day.
Hmm.
How much of this do you think is like, you know, AI or like generated? Because if there's only two user reviews of a game that looks this good, what's wrong with it? That's my question. Like, what's going on? What are we missing? And you could tell us in the comments or whatever, or hit us up. We're missing something. If there's like, because we're not like going to Google and looking at news on these games. We're kind of just seeing the cool ass game, talk about it from what we can see on Steam. But like, is there some controversy with something? Because if something looks this good, like, what's wrong with it? Because it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's only two user reviews. Like it was released in the same amount of time as these last games before this. The last games before it had plenty of reviews, all the stuff. This one, like, how does a game like this, the Summoner's Sky, go under the radar when it doesn't even look indie? Like
Yeah.
like what has Super Bytes worked on anything else, the developer, or because it's like going to a big
Hmm.
publisher. Like when I went to Super Bytes, it just went back to Steam. It didn't even go to like
Yeah.
Super Bytes.
Yeah. That's so weird. And what's also really weird is now you're making me dig into this is
Yeah.
the two reviewers that are on it, they've only reviewed this game except for one. He reviewed another game that he would not recommend, and that was freaking Dota. Like
Yeah.
really big game.
But
Weird.
so
It's really
so that's where
weird.
I'm like, even us just looking at this, for basically for me the second time, something doesn't smell right, right? Like it's just like it's too looks too polished, looks too good to be this under the radar. So what's going on with this?
Yeah.
That's the question. Because it looks super polished. Like, are they using AI to generate all this stuff? And people are like, that looks like AI. Like, I can't tell, but like, there's
Yeah.
been a lot of stuff that's been popping up that is not has not been. When this developer doesn't even have a page, I'm like, mm,
So weird.
something is up. Something is up. Um, so that is all of our in the new and noteworthy section this week. So let us know in the comments if you found anything that you think is cool for us to check out. We will, hit us up. We'll add it to our list and we will cover it on the podcast.
Yeah, because
Moving
this
moving on. Moving on to the budget section, Xander.
yeah, because the first one we want to talk about was actually recommended from the disgruntled gamer, and I did
Hmm.
purchase it. I played a little bit
Oh,
of
me
this
too.
game. I played a little
Oh,
bit
me
of
too.
it, but
It is $1. It is $1.20 right now.
yep, and it's a
Dollar
wonderful,
twenty.
wonderful boomer shooter, which we've been talking a lot about on this podcast. But yeah, Project Warlock.
Dude, Project Warlock is such a cool one, and they have a sequel. There's Project Warlock 2, not $1. It's like 15 on sale. But they do have and also they did a cross with the game that we covered with the randomizer, Mullet Mad Jack. They
Mhm.
have a cross bundle with Mullet Mad Jack. They have a lot of crazy stuff going on. My thing is did Project Warlock, who was created by released in 2018, I think they have a Switch physical. I think.
Mm.
If I'm thinking of and this is just off of memory, I could be thinking of a different game though. But what do you think about this game as I look up to see if there's some physical?
Yeah, I really really enjoyed it. Um it plays it was one of the first games I actually played on my mini PC when I uploaded Steam. I went on Facebook and I saw on our Facebook page Disgruntled Gamer was like, "Hey, this game's, super cheap, looks cool." And I'm like, "All right, I'll check it out." And yeah, the only thing that I had to get used to is it turns really fast. I need to find out how to turn some of the sensitivity down on the controls because either that or just play with a mouse and keyboard. Because I was using the Xbox 360 controller, and it was like
Yeah.
when I was turning, he was just like making a whole 360. So maybe something wasn't calibrated right on my end, but it was fun. I like the bare minimum weapons you get in the game because you got your shotgun, all the blasters, but whenever you run out, then you have like these long scissors or you have like this prong that like electrocutes demons. It's pretty cool.
It's like Hex and Heretic style. And dude, so like the thing is I love the boomer shooters that do the inspiration. And this was released as a Switch physical years and years ago by Super Rare Games. This was their 45th release for Super Rare.
Wow.
What's interesting is so either, and this is where collecting becomes gatekeeperish. So, do you want to join us, listeners, on the Incredible podcast where we pay $1.20 to play Private Warlock? Or do you want to get the Switch physical for $150 on eBay because it's completely sold out? Like, it's sold out, it's limited, which makes collecting cool. But I would highly recommend against going online and go to your local game stores and find them there and try to get a deal or something.
Well, I mean,
Maybe $100, but like join us down the dollar route.
yeah.
Well, join us
And
because
like maybe like knowing now that a physical copy is worth a lot. Hey, if you go to a yard sale and you find it and you can buy it physically
pick it up.
for a lot cheaper, pick it up because it is a more uncommon game for your Switch collecting needs. But
And it is old enough because like my whole collection is not with me. It's storage, unfortunately, because when I went to Hawaii, I had to put it in there. But I may have this because this was before because once I got to Hawaii, I cut off all my crazy pre-orders because I'm like, well, I'm moving all the damn time. I can't like pre-order something and limited run ships it 3 years later when I've changed addresses 3 times.
yeah.
And so it's crazy. So I may have Project Warlock because that was before when I had the I might have it sitting somewhere. But for $1.20, I'm gonna get it right now and yeah, have it. And but also one thing is, and I'm not against collecting for the Switch. I'm not against any of that at all. Not at all. But I like the thrill of the hunt. So finding it at the yard sales, like you said, Xander, is perfect. Like
That's what I love.
because like people asked me, they're like, "Oh, well, aren't you gonna be mad if you miss out on a Project Warlock and have to pay $100 to $150 on eBay?" I'm sure if we search for it, it's not 150. It's probably 100. But are you gonna be mad? I'm like, no, no, I'll hunt it later. Number one is like I've done all these books and go to conventions. So like when I go to the conventions, the collectors, some of them are run stores and they'll have the games, and I may lose out on a few really crazy expensive ones, but then all the rest I'll be able to go hunt and find even at a game convention, which
Mhm.
a game convention's semi-cheating because everything's there. I don't have to like dig through
Yeah.
bins of flea market stuff, which I enjoy too. And yeah, so I like to stay focused. But the thrill of the hunt is great too. And so as long as I know what I have and what I don't have, which my list is okay, I won't get doubles. I like to go look for stuff later. So
Mhm.
I will be the guy for looking for Switch shit later and have a good time.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing, to be honest, because I love the Switch. It's one of my favorite consoles, and I have a pretty good physical collection, but I mean, I also have like 400 digital Switch games. I counted yesterday. I'm like, holy crap, I have a lot of Switch games. But I want to keep collecting for it. It's gonna be fun. The weird thing is like, how's this conversation going to be 10 years from now when the Switch 2 has been out and people are going to start trying to collect for Switch 2? Like, are they going to be wanting to pay $150 for a card that's just a code?
No, that I mean the Switch
So
2,
weird.
it's gonna be. I mean, because I used to run the Switch Mini Playcast with a couple
Yeah.
dates, couple cool guys, and we talked collecting. Now, this realm of Switch 2 is gonna be there's gonna be lists and there'll be categories, and what you're gonna want to collect is the complete on cart ones or the ones that have a game on it that may require DLC. That's the only two, because that's all we
Yeah.
have on Switch. Then you have the code in box. Like, there's no reason to collect a code in box if the code's expired. Or
Yeah.
if you go on there and you can't download it because the servers are down. Um, obviously dirty ass pirates are going to keep the shit running after.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Like so that anything that dies, like they'll have their own Switch
Yeah.
library. I mean, I even argue that in this day and age with so many now, because when I started publishing with Premium, there's only a couple of us with so many publishers out there. I assume that there's going to be an NES homebrew community with Switch where we're going to be able to make our own cartridges.
Oh yeah.
And like there'll be tooling and materials and all that shit. After their warehouses stopped producing it like they did with the NES,
Mhm.
because it's so compatible with all these indie things, the community will figure out a way, and I feel like there'll be a whole aftermarket scene. Because I mean, limited run is
Cool.
insane with Switch, and there's no way that they're gonna let that die. They let it die with the Vita, but that's because
Yeah.
Sony's a mega beast when it comes to
Yeah.
that stuff. But I think with Switch, and we're talking 10 years from now,
Yeah.
not like 2 years from now. Two
Yeah.
years from now, no, nobody's gonna be doing it. But 10 years from now, when Switch is done, Switch
Mhm.
2 is probably moved on, and nothing's backward compatible with Switch. I feel like community will want to keep it alive because it's the most popular console of all time. Like
It
it'll be
really
really
is.
good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
PS2, Game Boy, and Switch. PS2, Game Boy, and Switch are the most popular consoles of all time, and it will be in there. That's at least from my perspective. I hope that that's how it goes. That'll be fun,
Yeah.
and maybe I'll start doing some releases when that happens, people. That'll be fun.
And speaking
Yeah.
speaking speaking of really really
Oh,
cool stuff. This game super cheap and something that I
super indie.
so indie. This is a very indie game. But I have an interesting thing to talk about this though. But yeah,
Oh, what's it called?
the the Witcher Enhanced Director's Edition, the first
Yeah,
Witcher game. It's
the,
like
the Witcher. You never heard about it. It's not like there's a Netflix show and all
yeah.
play.
You know
But
what's
yeah, the Project CD Red did a huge discount, so it was like $1, under
yeah.
$1, I think. It's like
And
cents.
it's one of those things like I've always wanted to dive into the Witcher series because Witcher 3, classic. But I would always ask people, I'm like, do I need to play the other two Witchers to enjoy Witcher 3? And they'd be like, well, and they'd always just turn me off. I even had a copy of Witcher 3 that I never opened that I ended up selling, like for the PS4, because I was just like, I don't feel like playing it because it seems like such a big game. So to have The Witcher, like the first one, super cheap on my mini PC, I'm gonna have to dive into it. Like I want to play that.
I hope it holds up better than the Oblivion Enhanced, because I just did not dig. It was native to how it was, but it doesn't hold up with my current playing style. And so I'm hoping that The Witcher does, because I bought it too, of course.
Oh yeah.
Everything in the budget section we've bought, people. Like at least I have, because they're $1. Like there's no reason not to. And like it's just there's no like it's The Witcher's this cool as shit series. I hope it holds up well.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's jank. Hopefully there's some jank in it or something too. That'd be cool. But I
So
love the jank.
so I don't think we really need to dive too far into The Witcher when it comes to that. But this game we definitely want to dive into. Imp of the Sun.
Man, Imp of the Sun, and that's a Metroidvania, is it?
Yeah, it's a 2D fast-paced action platformer game inspired by what is that, Peruvian cultures? Huh.
Yeah, a little Peru style, and I mean the graphics are awesome. Pretty sure this game does have a Switch physical. I'll have to check. And it has mixed reviews, but that's because people are very critical of their Metroidvanias. It was released in 2022, and looks amazing. I added it to the because there's a lot of games that are $1.99, Xander, but I added it to the budget section because it's normally $20 and it's on sale for less than two. It's $1.99, but it's a $20 game. So when something's $20 and goes down to that, I'm like, okay, now I need to this needs to be something we talk about because the game looks outstanding from a graphic perspective. Like your little fire guy, but like the art style is cinematic.
Yeah, it's definitely what I'm going to buy after the show, after we're done recording, because it's it. I like the culture element to it as well, like the art style and culture just looks really really cool.
Well, I typed in Switch physical and it does not have anything on there for a physical release. Like so but when I look it up, a Reddit post comes out. Is it just me or are the controls way off? So apparently there's something with lags or imprecise direction during combat. So that's probably why it has mixed reviews. The controls. That's something that that can be patched. It's been 2-3 years at this
Yeah,
point. But the developers like if it's there's some major backlash, patch it.
yeah,
Like it's
fix
not
it.
gonna hurt my feelings. Not gonna hurt my feelings. But once we play it, maybe we'll know if it's laggy. But for $2, I will check it out to see.
Yeah,
90%, because the game looks awesome and the whole myths, the boss fights look cool as shit. Like they look like I always say Egyptian, but this is Peruvian, so you got Incan almost like
yeah,
Mayan style. Like you got the South American vibes in there for like bosses. It looks fucking cool as shit. Dang. So I hope that it plays cool. But yeah, there is no physical. It looks like something that should have a damn physical though. See?
yeah.
Like that would be
It's
that would be where I would be like dangerous as a publisher still because I'd be like, well, do we just sign it and make them patch it?
yeah,
But the thing is, it already has like mixed reviews. So it's hard to overcome that when you get mixed reviews.
yeah.
Mm.
Now this one, I believe this one's actually, if you're on PlayStation Plus, I don't know about Game Pass, but if you're on PlayStation Plus, I think this is one of the free games that you can play. Uh,
Nice.
with the
It
mix.
also has mixed reviews. It also has mixed reviews. And it's called Source of Madness, and it is a side-scrolling dark action roguelike.
Mm,
So, not necessary. It has Metroidvania in the damn thing, but that could be for searchability.
yeah.
I don't think it's traditional Metroidvania, but maybe it is. But it looks beautiful. Like, why do we have so many awesome ass looking games that are $2? What's going on
Yeah,
here?
because it's $1.99. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm gonna double check to make sure because I have a PlayStation PSN. I have that, so I'm gonna check to see if it is free before I download it on Steam. But if I don't, I'm still gonna check it out because it looks really really
Well,
cool.
is there a way for you to play your free games on your mini PC, your PlayStation games?
There might be. I mean, the I think PlayStation has some share option. I'm not sure.
Well, cause that's why I do Game Pass is because I can literally put it on my PC. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So I am I'm trying to get stupid pat my tablet thing. It's like trying to be so fancy that it won't let me like remove
I mean, I mean to be honest, I was actually thinking about this the other day because I've been playing more of my mini PC. I might actually cancel my PS Plus account and just transfer that to PC Game Pass because I feel like I would have a lot more options with the Game Pass as opposed to PSN Plus.
and like I mentioned, I don't own a Xbox and I've been doing this forever. So I was looking up, I wanted to see because I this is another one that I thought had a physical Source of Madness. And it does as a Switch physical. Yeah, buy Super Rare again, Super Rare Games. So apparently, um Super Rare Games,
How much was this one?
it was their 82nd release and it's still in stock for 36 euros online.
Okay.
Still in stock. It was released January 2023 physically, and they have them on eBay for $60 if you don't want to, just pay what the developer wants. Pay more money. You can go pay more money if you want to, or you can just go to their website and pay it. Um, yeah. So this one had mixed reviews as well. I don't see any like discussion boards. Hey, wait. Yeah, no, I don't see any discussion boards on why it has like mixture views, but again, as I said, like Metroidvania players are very picky and they have a high
Standard,
standards
yeah.
for standards for the games. The game looks badass though. It could just be that it's Souls-like gameplay and it pisses people off, which it
That
does
too.
happen. Does happen. Um, and then there's also a bundle with Leica or the motorcycle Metroidvania that we talked about on the podcast. So,
Mhm.
but I do think, and this is like you going back to what you mentioned because I definitely I think we should talk about it is moving from PlayStation to PC Game Pass because I feel like it's much more versatile having Humble Choice and PC Game Pass as your two subscription avenues because Humble Choice gives you 6 to 8 games that are each $60 a pop for $10 a month. You get all the games. And this month it was great. Some months there's genres I don't care about, but then you can do a gift. And we
Yeah.
can literally do giveaways here on the podcast because I got lots of games that I just won't play because I don't have the time. As long as my daughter doesn't steal them because she does like tactical strategy games.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like that's one route because you get all the games, and then PC Game Pass, you get to install them all. When Doom Dark Ages came out, I'm like, click, and it's installing. And
Yeah.
now I can play Doom immediately. And you can also, not only is that neat, but also like if you have an Android device or a phone, you can literally have a Bluetooth controller and play Game Pass on it with the cloud. You can play it with the cloud on any device with the screen. I can play on my damn TV, a cloud. Now, lag, of course, but for certain games, that shit don't matter. And it's
Yeah.
like playing a role-playing game, good to go. And then you have your ones that you install it on, like your mini PC, and it runs awesome. So I feel like there's a utility for modern gaming to move toward Game Pass
Hmm.
versus the old school Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus, where you get the games on their construct. It's why I feel like Xbox is moving toward that. If
Yeah.
they do anything, they're probably going to do a Legion Go handheld style thing, which I think is rumored.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like what they're going to do to compete in this Steam Deck world space. But like if you're compatible with Steam, you're compatible with all the things. I mean, hell, even on my deck here, I have Game Pass because I literally you can install the app and it'll go to the browser on the Steam Deck to load the cloud. So I can
Yeah.
literally play Game Pass on my deck. So SteamOS does work well. It's a workaround, which is also
Mhm.
why I'm not going to convert my Legion Go because there's workarounds, but
Right. Yeah.
it's still cool as shit that I could even just do it. And so, yeah, I think you moving toward that is logical.
Yeah. And I
For
mean,
sure.
in the day too, it's just I think a lot more gamers I think will agree that just gaming itself has been getting so expensive that we're just looking at alternatives of because at the end of the day, I just want to play games. Like
Want the experience
yeah,
is I mean that's reality what we're chasing is an experience, a feeling. We don't necessarily need to own all these things. We want to
yeah,
have enjoyment. And I know you being a tinkerer and me being OCD, we like to have everything at our fingertips. So if I'm in the
mhm,
mood to play Mario 3, I want to play it in the best way possible.
yeah,
And so then that turns into all of the things for retro. And that's when we get down rabbit holes. But an incredible podcast has been great because it's so overwhelming that you can't do all of the things. So we kind of focus on quality. We
mhm,
focus on experiences. And that's what I love about the podcast and
yeah,
the community that's developed. And we're gonna be the underground cool kids podcast because if you search us up, we're around,
yeah.
but like we're not gonna go down and chill out for the craziness. Like we're gonna have fun.
Yeah, we have a really good community, and this is just a quick way for me to tell you guys join the Patreon. It's free to join, and this is the best way to know when what Jeff's doing, what's going on, and we
Doing
have
pizza pop.
yeah,
Just doing
doing
pizza
cool.
pop.
You get little goodies too if you do decide to up the tier a little bit, and that I think that's a good way to give the shout out
Always doing
to
stuff.
give this shout out to our executive producers.
Ooh, that's a real off.
Yeah,
Real
uh,
off.
David Isherwood over the pond.
And Jesse Glenn, the main man, and of course I saved the long one for you. You've already talked about Disgruntled Gate.
Oh man,
So go ahead.
I mean,
So go ahead. Give me a shout out.
he's been kind of like behind the curtain star of this episode, with his recommendations. But of course, we're talking about Lunchbox, aka the disgruntled gamer from Thunderdome Gaming Society.
And he's just staring us into the walls. All he's doing.
Gosh.
Now, but the thing is not even he's just if you interact, like we're gonna interact. So he's one. Jesse Glenn, Akraloth and David Isherwood don't chat as much, but they do post it every once in a while. But like like if you want to chat with us, That's the easy way to find us. And it's very, very interesting the rabbit hole that we go down with all the fun stuff, and we definitely appreciate it. One question, and this will go into the for the episode for the poll. Do you think Xander and I should continue with the Indie Gaming Gems best of months? It's usually off of like games from this episode, but then it's like us doubling up. And I know the last time people were like, "Oh, it sounded like you used your first take," and I'm like, "That's neat because we did." But like, we're not gonna. We have full-time jobs. We did the podcast. Like that was bonus. We just did. Because when I did Indie Gaming Jam starting, I did it formulaic, and I wrote a script. I didn't like that, and so we did it off the cuff. But I still had stuff that I just read through the meat and potatoes, so that way we had a establishment. People didn't like that, so I think that we just keep the Incredible going. And Any Gaming Gems, maybe I don't know, because like we're literally gonna talk about the same games we're talking about. Like, well, these are the ones we really liked. Like we already did that, so I don't want to sound disingenuous when we do it. So that's why we did not do in April, and we may not do in May. But maybe we can do a mid-year roll-up of some of our favorite experiences from the 2025 or something. Maybe do it in the mid-year and be like, hey, these were the ones that we really played way more than we thought we would. Like, we did it from like Snake Scremental or whatever last week. That one freaking grabbed me. Maybe some of these other ones will pop me up. But there's one last thing we got to do.
I was about to say, I was like, did you get your deck going so we could do a randomizer?
Yeah. Now, should I do all of the things or should I do genre? Like, what do you think?
You know what?
Xander.
Yeah, we'll do genre. I'm gonna go crazy here. Go genre and go racing. See if there's a racing.
Race?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Too fast.
I only have a couple racing games installed on my deck, so I have like 12. And the game is we're gonna play Crow Kart.
Crow Kart.
And I do own it. It's about a gig. I only played it for a few minutes, so this will be a perfect one. Because there was a game called Crow Sworn that is a Metroidvania, and they created Crow Kart as a bonus game, a little kart racer. Lay waste to opponents online using a wide array of items, both deadly and comical.
Well, it's a free game.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's free. So I think that's a perfect game for us to play for. Add to the backlog to play right now. Crow Kart. And so I just chose the very first one. Looks interesting and fun, and it's a free game. So everybody that listens, you can play it. So that way next week for the episode, when you see it, you can have a little experience with us.
Indeed.
Oh,
well, I think that's going to wrap up another exciting episode of the Indie Credible podcast. And remember, guys, you can always join us on Facebook or Discord in case you have some indie game that you want to share with the masses and be like, you guys need to talk about this. We'll definitely check it out. And as Jeff's over there with his little Hollow Knights.
Yeah, the Knights of the Hollow. They never had moved since the Christmas episode, the Indie Credible Christmas. They hadn't moved. So
they're buddy you.
Serious, I'm about to move. So.
Yeah, don't leave them behind.
Now this place will be cleared out, brother.
think we're about to clear out this episode. Anyway, guys, we want to thank you for listening. And as always, support indie.